Let's talk about President Snow apologizing for Prim's death. In the books, this moment is President Snow telling Katniss that he was not the one who dropped the bombs, thus informing her that he is not responsible for Prim's death. Because up until this point, Katniss had just assumed that the bombs dropped were bombs from the Capitol. And although he's apologizing for Prim's death, he's not sorry. He is informing her that not only Coin played a role, but Plutarch as well, directly mentioning them both and also commenting on how masterful it was. In fact, one of my favorite lines in the whole series is, "I was watching you, Mockingjay, and you were watching me. I am afraid we've both been played for fools." Snow's essentially telling Katniss that though she has taken him down, there is still another opponent to contend with. He's goading her in a way. One of the things I find most interesting about this part in the books is the power imbalance that should be happening, because Katniss should actually be the one holding all the power in this situation. In Catching Fire, President Snow shows up to Katniss's house and they have a conversation about the uprising. This is so terrifying to Katniss because he has all of the control and he's in her home where her family lives, sitting at the desk where Prim does her homework and her mother does her budgets. In this situation, Katniss is now in President Snow's home right before his execution is set to take place. She is the one who is meant to kill him, and yet he is still holding every ounce of power. Even in his last moments, even as he coughs up blood, he holds every ounce of power in that room. He's informing Katniss of information he knows that she doesn't. And Katniss notes that when he stares at her, he's staring at her unblinkingly, as if to watch her reaction. Because even though President Snow technically holds no power, he still holds power over Katniss, which I think is a fantastic example of trauma. Because no matter what, the memory of President Snow will always affect Katniss. She will always be traumatized by him. And I think it's a really crucial reminder to the reader that Katniss is still a child. She's only 17 during Mockingjay, and she is not equipped to deal with any of this. I mean, who would be? And although I don't think that President Snow was happy about Prim's death, I also don't think that he was happy about learning about it. He makes a point of telling Katniss that he is not wasteful, because President Snow doesn't just kill to kill, he actually has his whole agenda. And this is not me saying that his agenda is correct or right in any way, I'm not saying that. But behind every person that he kills, there's a reasoning as to why. And if you look at it through his messed up point of view, you can understand how he came to that conclusion. So I do feel that Prim's death would seem wasteful to him. So yes, I genuinely believe that he is telling Katniss the truth. I mean, he even says it himself. He says, "I take life for very specific reasons." I love this portion of the book so much. It's so well written, like every part of the series is, and it's just amazing to analyze. But honestly, any interaction with President Snow is interesting to analyze. Hope that answers your question. Let me know what you guys want to hear about next.